What's going on, guys? So today we're talking about what to expect in senior living rate increases in the year 2023. What kind of effect is this going to have on the senior care market as a whole? Here, published in a recent article in Senior Housing News, it breaks down different communities and how much they plan to increase their rates. And I think you're going to find this very interesting. But first, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, show us a little love, hit that little button. Come on, guys, you can do me a favor. Show us a little love. Like, we need it. We need all the love you can get, or all the love we can get. Anyways, guys, my name is Chris Chandler, the founder and CEO of Active Age Daytime Senior Care. And today I was reading an article. It was published in Senior Housing News, and it talks about what to expect in this coming year 2023. And we already had pretty significant rate increases in the year 2022, but now as operators enter year 2023 and beyond, what is this going to look like? Because we've had significant increases in labor costs and other inflationary pressure that we're experiencing in the senior living space and just in senior care in general, especially around the cost of labor. That has been the number one issue for the last probably 5 years, and it continues to get worse. And we continue to have to make sure that we're offering competitive rates, which is obviously increasing the cost of care, right? Because at the end of the day, the assisted living world, the senior living world, this is not just about renting out an apartment. This is about providing services on top of the cost of renting out a room or a studio or a unit inside of an assisted living facility. So that being said, it looks like a little over 50% of assisted living facilities expect to raise their rates somewhere between 6 to 8%, but many expect to raise their rates in the low teens this year. And this is already coming off of what was already a pretty high year last year, where many facilities raised rates somewhere between 5 and 8%, which was much higher considering that in previous years, they only raised rates somewhere maybe between 2 and 4%. So to see these mid-teen increases, to see the fact that in 2022 alone, a lot of these facilities had already raised rates by 10%. I mean, this is a lot. Think about this. In 2 years' time, rate increases potentially have already cost the average customer, the average, person coming into the marketplace another 20%, okay? And we are just now talking about Social Security offering an 8% increase to the Social Security income. But is that enough? Or are people gonna be forced to think about alternative options? So what I wanted to do is, first, share this with you, kind of present some of the evidence that they're sharing in this article, but also kind of extrapolate this out over the next 3 and even 8 years. Like, what does this look like? It was interesting. There was one community in here that had raised their rent back in, or had raised their rates back in March, around 6%. Commonwealth had raised rates an average of 10% in 2022. And then they were also talking about raising rates another 10% this year. And they did it, 6% in March. And then they realized that it wasn't a large enough bump. And they did an additional 4%, which equaled a 10% rate increase. Okay. So you're seeing these things where these companies are making these kind of forward-thinking, strategies where they're raising rates by 6% or 8% or, an amount that's larger than previously, but then they get halfway through the year and realize that they didn't raise rates enough. And not only are they suffering and they're not achieving pre-COVID margin, but in a lot of cases, they're not even making money at all. And they're hemorrhaging rising expenses and inflationary costs. So let's think about this for a little bit though, because this is gonna pose a problem. So if the average cost of assisted living in 2022 was $4,500 per month, and then we had on top of this another 7 to 10% increase this year alone. And then we have another, say, like 8% increase over the next 3 years. That means by 2025, the average cost of assisted living across the country is gonna be over $6,000 per month. $6,000 per month. Now, say we go from year 2025 to year 2030, and we increase the rate at 5%. By 2030, the average cost of assisted living is going to be somewhere between $7,500 per month if rates increase at 5% per year, but it could be as high, if not even higher, something like $8,500 a month if rates increase at an average annual rate of 8%. And I think what is interesting is I don't think we're actually seeing the true rate of increase that is needed for these communities and these senior living operators to be profitable and to achieve pre-COVID margin, I think they're still chasing that, and they're chasing that margin, by what they're trying to do is they're trying to continue to retain their current residents at the same time not create or outprice potential residents. So it's this weird slippery slope of, okay, we can't raise rates too much because if we do, then we're not going to be competitive. And if we're not competitive, then we might have issues filling our building. And so there's this weird void of okay, we can't raise rates too much because we don't want to be competitive, because we do want to be competitive. So what's happening is they're not raising rates at a pace or at an annual increase fast enough to make up for the margin that's needed to get the pre-COVID numbers. And so you're gonna see, I think, a continuous effort where rates are gonna have to increase at an above average level for an extended period of time. And I think this is gonna put the cost of assisted living out of touch with the average American. Because at the end of the day, who can really afford $8,500 per month for 24 months if you need care for your mom, your dad, your spouse, a loved one? Middle America is not gonna be able to afford the assisted living that we have today. This is gonna be a luxury item for a lot of people, and people are gonna need a solution, an alternative to care that costs less. And what is that solution gonna be? We've been preaching forever, it's adult day. Adult day is gonna be that solution. It hands down is the most affordable alternative to care. And if you think 3 years from now, 5 years from now, 8 years from now, adult day will become a necessary part of the care continuum. Families, spouses taking care of their loved ones, adult children taking care of their mom and dad, they're gonna heavily rely on adult day because it's cost effective and it meets the need of the family caregiver, and it gives the individual, the person that's in need of care, it gives them a renewed sense of purpose, meaning, and helps them live a fulfilled life. This is just the very beginning, but this article in Senior Housing News really opened your eyes up to the fact that most of these facilities, they don't even know if they're truly raising rates at a rate that they need to even achieve pre-COVID margin. They're just trying to help offset the cost of labor and many of the other inflationary costs that they're experiencing. And this is just the beginning. And I think every single year, you're gonna see providers that are faced with the reality that their P&Ls just are not what they used to be. And this is gonna continue to drive prices up, and this is gonna continue to cause inflation in the healthcare world. And there's no way to offset this cost except for utilizing services like Adult Day. That's why Adult Day is the future. If you haven't already, make sure you join us. Go to adcpro.com, learn about how to open up your very own Adult Day Center. Check out all of our YouTube videos. We got tons of content out there. Make sure you join us on our private Facebook group. And if you haven't already, sign up for our monthly webinars. And if you're interested in opening your own Active Age Adult Day Center, make sure you go to activeagecare.com/franchise. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to learn how to open your own adult daycare center, go to adcpro.com. If you'd like the latest business tips, click here, and make sure you subscribe to our channel, click here. We'll see you guys next time.